top stories. Prime Minister Harris outlines new initiatives to reduce impact of COVID-19 pandemic. Cruise ships expected on July 22nd, and care packages assist nearly 4,000 persons. The details on these stories and more after the break.
There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa debit or Black Cards can do.
Mimi, what's that song?
It can get you out of a pickle. Using my National Bank Visa card is fast, secure, and convenient.
Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA Value Club Blue Tag specials from July 1st through 14th. Essential everyday apple juices, just $6.99. IGA canned vegetables, $2.99. IGA peanut butter, creamy and crunchy, $7.99. Almond breeze milk, $12.99. Essential everyday bar and shredded cheeses, just $7.99. Wishbone salad dressings, just $8.99. And now our very low weekly value deals. Kraft barbecue sauces, $5.99 each. Essential everyday pastas, $2.99. IGA squeezed ketchup, $3.99. Equaline mouthwash, 1.3 to 1.5 liters, just $9.49. Shop smart, shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras a Value Mart.
Without limits, happy and free. The skin you're in with no apology. The one to seize the day. Grab an LLB. Live, love, be. With LLB. Live, love, be. Live, love, be. Be who you know you can be. Grab an LLB. Live, love, be. Angostura, lemon, lime and bitters. Live, love, be.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Carla Berridge. Prime Minister Dr. The Honorable Timothy Harris has outlined several initiatives aimed to assist persons and stimulate the economy as the nation responds to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Jason Davis tells us more.
During his monthly press conference on Thursday morning at the NEMA conference room, the Prime Minister noted that farmers, fishers and small businesses are among their priorities. He noted that the government will continue to provide support to the agriculture sector by injecting $15 million to boost production and ensure food security, allocating additional lands for farming, and granting a temporary waiver of water payments by farmers. The government will also allocate $3 million for the continuation of the Fresh Start program by Development Bank, which provides loans for small and medium-sized businesses. The government will also provide assistance to cover customs duties on the importation of vehicles and commercial goods. Cabinet approved extending the previous assistance given to farmers, fishers and small businesses until the end of the year. The Prime Minister said new initiatives will also be put in place to help the less fortunate to better cope with the financial hardship caused by COVID-19. These include launching an income support program totaling $15 million to alleviate hardships on persons who have been unemployed since March and who are registered with the Social Security Board. However, persons who received $15,000 or more in severance payment after March 2020 would not be eligible. And persons receiving assistance under the Poverty Alleviation Program would only be entitled to receive an additional $500 under the Income Support Program. He said persons who already received a government stipend of $1,000 would not enjoy a further benefit of $1,000. The government would also waive commercial rent for 6 months, July to December 2021, for small businesses which lease space from the government through the Ministry of Tourism and Transport. The VAT rate on commercial rent for small businesses will be cut from 10 to 5% for 3 months. That's up to September 2021 for small businesses with 25 or fewer persons. There was also some good news for bus drivers, as the Prime Minister said the government will reinstate the annual import duty exemption for 16 tires, 4 pairs of brake pads and 3 pairs of brake shoes for H passenger buses, and provide fuel subsidy of $400 a month to passenger bus operators for 3 months. The government will also waive the stall fees for vendors who use the public market up until December 31. Other initiatives announced include reducing travel tax for the next 6 months, increasing support to battered women through the Ministry of Social Development, and assistance for households with differently abled children with a stipend to help them over the next 6 months. The Prime Minister also noted that Skelec has agreed to provide a deferral on residential electricity bills for the next 3 months. Dr. Harris concluded the list of initiatives by noting that he has made a request to the ECCB for consideration of a further extension of the suspension of mortgage payments to commercial banks. Jason Davis for ZIZ News.
As the Federation continues to prepare for the reopening of the tourism sector, cruise lines are hoped to resume visits in approximately 2 weeks. That is according to Minister of Tourism, Honorable Lindsay Grant. He said that 2 cruise lines are expected to visit from July 22nd during a press conference on Thursday.
As it stands at the moment, we are ready and able to accept the first cruise ship, which would be the Seabourn Odyssey, on Thursday, the 22nd of July. The Seabourn Odyssey will come every week thereafter. And then we have the Celebrity Millennium, which will come on July the 28th. When the Celebrity Millennium comes on July the 28th, it will come every other week thereafter.
He said they will arrive nearly fully vaccinated, with crew expected at 98% and passengers at 95%. Earlier this year, it was announced that vaccinations would be necessary for passengers to travel. Recently, however, there was an announcement by authorities in Florida stating that cruise lines need not know the vaccination status of patrons prior to boarding. Minister Grant provided an update on a correspondence that was sent on behalf of the OACS and other islands as a block.
We are looking at that matter very carefully because it is going to impact our industry depending on how it goes. I, however, should say that we have taken a collective and concerted effort within the OECS to address this matter. In fact, we sent off a letter jointly by the OECS territories about 3 weeks ago, indicating our disappointment with the issue in Florida. So we are hopeful that because of our collective approach, that this matter will inure to our benefit.
Passengers who arrive in St. Kitts and Nevis will disembark and will tour the country in their respective bubble tours and will not interact with citizens in the initial stages of reopening. The Allure of the Seas and other cruise lines are expected in August. Close to 4,000 persons in St. Kitts have benefited from the Ministry of Social Development's Care Package initiative since it was introduced in late May 2021. That's according to Permanent Secretary Janelle Lois Tafari, who gave a breakdown of the numbers at the NEOC COVID-19 briefing on Wednesday.
Since we commenced operations on 28 May, 3,814 persons have benefited from the food hampers and hot meals. 346 households were benefited were in quarantine, and several of these households received packages on more than one occasion due to the length of time of their quarantine period.
She said the additional 890 households receiving assistance qualified as a result of individuals that suffered a loss of income or reduced income due to the COVID-19 pandemic or the lockdown period. Mrs. Lewis Tafari stated that deliveries will continue on Thursday and Friday, which are days of limited operations in St. Kitts and Nevis. As such, persons who are not in quarantine or isolation are allowed to leave their homes to conduct essential business after the past few days of full lockdown. She appealed to persons who have yet to receive a food hamper to make every effort to remain accessible.
I must point out that non-responses of persons who have applied has been one of our challenges. So I'm asking persons who have applied and have not received your food hamper as yet, if you must leave your home tomorrow and Friday, please keep your phones close at hand, as our drivers will be calling you for directions to your home.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Social Development, Janelle Lewis Tafari. We now take a look at the nation's COVID-19 situation report and vaccination update. After the break, police investigating suspicious persons who were in the Nismas area, and more information on restrictions to be announced. Stay with us.
There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa debit or black cards can do.
Mimi, what's that song?
It can get you out of a pickle. Using my National Bank Visa card is fast, secure, and convenient.
Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA Value Club Blue Tag specials from July 1st through 14th. Essential everyday apple juices, just $6.99. IGA canned vegetables, $2.99. IGA peanut butter, creamy and crunchy, $7.99. Almond Griezmann, $12.99. Essential everyday bar and shredded cheeses, just $7.99. Wishbone salad dressings, just $8.99. And now our very low weekly value deals. Kraft barbecue sauces, $5.99 each. Essential everyday pastas, $2.99. IGA squeezed ketchup, $3.99. Equaline mouthwash, 1.3 to 1.5 liters, just $9.49. Shop smart, shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras a Value Mart.
Welcome back. One person is in police custody and another is still at large in relation to an incident in which police were alerted to two suspicious persons in the Nismas area on Tuesday night. Speaking at the Prime Minister's press conference on Thursday, Commissioner of Police Hilary Brandy said a patrol team was quickly dispatched after the police were made aware of their presence in the area.
On Tuesday evening, police received report of two suspicious persons in the Nismas area and warrant investigation. We quickly dispatched one of our patrol team and they saw the two persons and pursue. Both persons ran into some bushy areas. The patrol pursued on foot. One of the officers discharged a firearm. One of the persons was captured, and we are still investigating this incident.
The commissioner also reported that no one was injured during the pursuit of the two individuals. One of the most commonly asked questions at the Prime Minister's press conference on Thursday was what happens after the current series of lockdowns and limited movement days end on Sunday. In response, the Prime Minister explained that that topic could not be addressed at that time, and an announcement will be made shortly.
We are hopeful at this particular moment in time that if the trend of discipline continues, that we will be in a better place. We do not want to keep the country in a prolonged lockdown, so there will be adjustment to the measures. I shall refrain from going into the details at this particular moment in time, save to say that before the day on which they expire, the nation would be more fully advised with respect to them. All the relevant parties, the health team, the Office of the Attorney General, the Cabinet itself, indeed, after this press conference, the Cabinet will meet to have a further look of what will happen after the 12th.
At the end of the previous SR&O period, the Prime Minister addressed the nation to announce plans going forward. It is expected that he will make a similar address on the weekend. The Regional Organization for Women in Leadership, ROWL, will be hosting the second annual Women in Politics Leadership Institute program sponsored by the U.S. Embassy, Bridgetown. The program will provide training to 25 emerging female leaders from Barbados and the OACS from August 16th to September 29th, 2021. Project coordinator of ROWL, Desi Brown, in outlining the program's importance, said it is hoped that the program will inspire a new generation of women across the region to participate in discussions on nation building.
Although we have a lot of women in government serving in public service, there are not many women at the top level sitting down in Parliament and having discussions and representing not just women but also representing other ideals and bringing forth that well-roundedness that women have and can contribute to discussions as it relates to nation building. And that has been the premise at which the U.S. Embassy decided to have that program, and it is the same premise on which we are building on the program that they started last year, because we've done a little bit of tweaks, having done it ourselves. We've definitely engaged a lot more Caribbean women.
The project coordinator said this program through ROWL is dedicated to training and connecting women and developing a community of resilient and global leaders.
This year we are coordinating the Women in Politics Leadership Institute, which is essentially geared towards providing training for persons who have aspirations in going into government and politics. It's a 6-week program, and it features American and Caribbean women leaders giving advice on training in areas such as building support, networking, fundraising, and so forth, as well as information on local government, how you can build your brand, and also looking at topics such as identity, diversity, and inclusion.
She said the program caters to a youth population with applications open for persons aged 18 to 35 who live in Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Information about the Women in Politics Leadership Institute program can be found on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at ROWL Global. And finally, on the local scene, the Alliance Francaise French singing competition is nearing the end, as the judges have selected the 3 best performances in each category that will go head-to-head in the finale on Wednesday, July 14th. The finalists in the children's category are Whitson Rosamé, Jadicia Percival, and Clevancia Richardson. The finalists in the adolescent category are Jolliver Rosamé, Chenoa Gilbert, and Teshawn Phillips, and in the adult category, Lufkin Foster, Romaine Michael Balaze, and Siobhan Hanley. According to a press release issued on Thursday, the 3 finalists of the children category will each receive a prize. The adolescents and adults will have to perform a second French song of their choice that will be viewed and voted on, in addition to their pre-selection video. The judges, as well as the public, will pick the winner, the first runner-up, and second runner-up for the adolescent and adult categories. Persons can access the competition via the Zoom link on the Alliance Francaise Facebook page. Registration is mandatory. The competition starts at 7 p.m. Coming up in regional news, CARICOM Chair calls for end to COVID discrimination by member states. The details when we come back.
Yo! You look like the dude who was shopping at Furniture and Appliances. See, my friend, you look like you buy something from the Ashley Home Store. How you know? Because we get the cashback coupons and the free groceries for a year!
Cashback is back at Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture. Shop now and get a chance to win free groceries for 1 year.
Call or WhatsApp Agility Exports today at 1-246-417-0477 or email us at info@agilityexports.com to get yours now.
Seriously, there's a better way to beat the heat. Get an air conditioning unit at Quartz, starting at $1,699. Get free installation on your purchase. Plus, with Ready Finance, you can shop now and pay nothing for 60 days. Quartz, bringing value home. Conditions apply.
And we're moving now to news on the regional scene. Incoming CARICOM Chairman and Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda Gaston Brown has called on regional partners to quit the discriminatory practice of turning away visitors from member states with high levels of COVID-19 while accommodating others from outside countries with the same COVID-19 status. This as he called for harmonized COVID-19 protocols across the region.
Sufficient vaccines is...
Incoming CARICOM Chairman and Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown, pointed out that in tourism-based economies, the resumption of intra-regional travel is one that is critical to getting economic activity back to normal. He stated that the free movement of persons, goods and services, as highlighted by the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, CSME, is required for the regional economy to rebound, as he called for harmonized COVID-19 protocols for travels across the region. The discriminatory practice of banning travel from member states with elevated levels of COVID-19 while accommodating visitors from countries at higher risk, says Mr. Brown, has to stop.
It is not an exaggeration to say that air transport is the oxygen that keeps tourism alive and functioning in our region. We need to care for it and to provide the inputs and the enabling economic environment, including the reduction of travel taxes, that will allow air transportation to grow our tourism sector back to good health.
Prime Minister Brown addressed the problem of vaccine hesitancy, which he says CARICOM leaders must tackle head-on. He says it's one thing to stock sufficient vaccines, but quite another to get the public to take them.
Acquiring sufficient vaccines is only one part of the equation. I want to thank the United States, India, China, and the other countries who are so generously donating vaccines to our member states. However, the other side of the equation is to ensure that a sufficient number of our citizens are inoculated so that our countries could gain herd immunity. I urge those who are reluctant to take the jab to think again.
Many countries are struggling to achieve the required 75% herd or population immunity to protect the nation from this deadly scourge. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas.
Black historian and author Dr. Claudius Fergus is of the view that the assassination of Haiti's president, Jovenel Moïse, was due to foreign intervention. Here's more.
Dr. Fergus, speaking exclusively to Talk City 91.1 FM, said based on the mercenaries who were killed and captured by Haitian police, it is believed that they were not from Haiti and indeed spoke another language.
These are the types of expertise that is employed by the CIA to assassinate leaders around the world. Now, I'm not saying that the CIA was involved. I'm not saying, even like Reuters, that the DA was involved. But we will not be surprised that there is a foreign hand in the assassination.
Fergus added, while there have been protests since 2019 calling for President Moïse to step down, no evidence, he says, indicates that the assassination was as a result of a coup.
There's no evidence whatsoever that any of the protesters attempted a coup. You see the word coup being used, but I don't think this would be classed as a coup.
As a coup, in the
traditional sense, it would only be a coup if it is a palace coup. That is, that it was in fact organized or orchestrated by people from within.
On Wednesday, following the president's death, a shootout between police and mercenaries occurred in Port-au-Prince. This led to 4 mercenaries being killed and 4 being captured. A manhunt for the remaining mercenaries is on.
Coming up, fake COVID vaccine certificates sold on the dark web. We'll tell you more when we come back.
Imagine having the luxury of putting all your trust in one insurance company and being able to enjoy life to the fullest without having to worry. Well, don't imagine. National Caribbean Insurance is here to take care of all your insurance needs. Insure your life, vehicle, boat, home, belongings, and your future. At NCI, we make it our business to ensure that you enjoy every stage in life. We serve, we protect, we satisfy. That's NCI.
Italy says it has seized control of 10 channels on the encrypted messaging service Telegram linked to anonymous accounts in marketplaces on the dark web.
Not even 10 days have passed since the official launch of the EU's digital travel certificate, and already criminal organisations are offering to sell fake certificates. In Italy, the police seized control of 10 channels on the encrypted messaging service Telegram, linked to anonymous accounts on marketplaces in the so-called dark web, through which it was possible to contact the sellers, who required payment in cryptocurrency. Such listings may be actual offers, but also attempts to scam people.
Through the internet and through these channels, you can sell things everywhere in the world. What was nice is that in the offer was said that these fake passports and these vaccines were available not only in Europe, but also in Europe and in other countries. As an example, in Switzerland, in UK, in the US. Also, we found New Zealand and faraway countries.
Prices ranged from 100 to 150 euros, depending on the package. Some offers even included a vial of vaccine with the certificate. Around 250,000 users had registered, and 100 had tried to interact with the sellers, with some buyers coming from outside the EU.
These also provide big responsibilities for people who is selling this, but also for people who is trying to use these fake certifications.
Europol, the EU's law enforcement agency, says that criminals have proven to be very adaptive during the pandemic, previously faking COVID-19 test certificates too. Europol is also supporting law enforcement authorities across the continent to combat coronavirus-related crimes in high-profile operations, including a number of actions targeting cybercriminals, counterfeiters and scammers. It says too that given the widespread technological means available in the form of high-quality printers and different software, fraudsters are now able to produce high-quality fake documents. Chris Pitchers, Euronews, Brussels.
Former South African President Jacob Zuma turned himself over to police to begin serving a 15-month prison term. Here's more.
Those processes. This is the prison facility where former South African President Jacob Zuma is being held. The embattled former president was brought here to the Escort Correctional Center after handing himself over Thursday morning to the police.
I have seen him. He is in very good spirit, and he has taken his breakfast, he's taking his medication, and he is, as I've said, we spoke. And I also told him that I'm going to tell the nation that he is here in this facility, and he said it's important that this country must know. So he's in very good spirit. Yeah.
The prison is located in KwaZulu-Natal province, about 200 kilometers from Jacob Zuma's rural home in Nkandla.
If we wanted the former president to stay in a hotel and in a highly privileged area, we would have taken him to the hotel in Karadin there in the south coast. Or we would have taken him to one of our beautiful guest houses, breathtaking in the Western Cape, where you can even see the sea. But the policies and the Correctional Services Act is clear. He must be incarcerated where it's declared a correctional facility in terms of incarceration.
79-year-old Zuma was convicted and sentenced for defying a court order to testify before a judicial commission investigating widespread allegations of corruption during his 2009 to 2018 presidency.
Up next in sports, SKNFA supports sport physios, and Japan declares state of emergency ahead of the Olympics. Stay with us.
Imagine having the luxury of putting all your trust in one insurance company and being able to enjoy life to the fullest without having to worry. Well, don't imagine. National Caribbean Insurance is here to take care of all your insurance needs. Insure your life, vehicle, boat, home, belongings, and your future. At NCI, we make it our business to ensure that you enjoy every stage in life. We serve, we protect, we satisfy. That's NCI.
And say or press 2 to access our automated customer service system. Say or press 2 to make a payment via credit card. Enter your 8-digit Skillick account number as seen on your bill. Enter the amount you wish to pay without a decimal point. For example, enter 2000 for a $20 payment. Have your credit card on hand to enter your credit card number, expiration date, and security number. One phone call gives you the power to regain control of your day. Skillick's interactive voice response system. Skillick, powering responses.
First up in sports, the St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association, since the start of this season, has been providing support to its member clubs in responding to player injuries during matches by providing a certified physio at the games. SKNFA media consultant Andre Huey has more in this report.
Fitness and sports medicine is very important for athletes and teams involved. That is why the St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association, the SKNFA, has implemented a program where clubs participating in major football competitions locally are given the opportunity to have a trained physiotherapist to tend to their players who may receive an injury during games. Janae Gishard-Pine, injury specialist with the SKNFA, explained the essence of this program.
So we started this initiative to support players in having a longer career and support teams in making the right decision whether to continue with playing a player or the right recommendations for helping them to recover. I think it's been a really good incentive. As I said, it helps with players' longevity. So we go on, we assess the damage, we decide whether a player can continue or not, and we have them come off, treat, or return them to play. In the past, I think it may have been difficult for people to know whether a player can continue or not. And for players who always want to play, sometimes it's not the best thing for them to continue on an injury. So now that they have that cushion, us to help them to know whether it's safe for them to play or not.
And for clarity, is this for all the SKNFA clubs or just for the Premier League clubs?
So the Premier League clubs have a physio and a doctor and Red Cross always available. Division 1 has a physio, a trained physio, and then for the younger leagues, the youth leagues, we'll have someone from the course that we run who have passed the requirements to go and cover those games, the youth games.
Ms. Kishore-Pine explains that some of the most common injuries that players suffer during matches are non-contact injuries, which she said can be avoided through nutrition and proper hydration.
On the pitch, I find the most common injuries to actually be non-contact injuries. So those are injuries like muscle strains or rolled ankles, like a twisted ankle. Of course, you have your contact injuries as well, so like your fractures, your concussion, your torn ligaments. But those aren't the most common. Yes, they're more severe, but they're not the most common. The common injuries are the non-contact injuries, which can be avoided. This can be avoided with things like nutrition, proper hydration, landing mechanics, and proprioceptive. So that's being able to balance. If you jump up for a header or something and come down on one foot, being able to compensate and make sure that your ankle doesn't roll from those things. So it's mainly training habits that can help to improve the common injuries that are experienced in the leagues.
Meanwhile, the SKNFA injury specialist explains the significance of the program and how she believes this can help improve the performance of players on the pitch.
There are a variety of fitness modalities and reasons why people are struggling to get fit. There are a lot of aspects of fitness to consider, but what I'd like to say is that where people fail or where teams fail is when they fail to consider all the aspects required for the sport. So you need to look at your speed, your agility, your strength, your muscular endurance, your cardiovascular endurance. You have to really take a whole rounded approach to facilitate reducing injury.
She explained that the SKNFA continues to provide ongoing training to physios of the various clubs.
So the training that we have implemented is really to help people on how to identify an injured player, to be able to assess the commonly injured joints in football, to be able to make appropriate recommendations for treatment, and of course to be able to render immediate care. Some of the areas that we cover are basic life support, basic assessment of head and spinal injury and how to manage that. We also cover pitch side cover, injury prevention, warm-up and cool-down protocols.
Early this year, the SKNFA conducted its annual fitness and medical course ahead of the start of the 2021 football season. The course is offered free of cost to all physiotherapists, trainers, and team medical personnel working in the SKNFA leagues. It is designed to help the participants from the SKNFA member clubs learn how to diagnose and manage common football-related injuries and illnesses.
Just 2 weeks before the Tokyo Olympics is set to kick off, Japan declared a state of emergency Wednesday night that will end on August 22nd, a day after the games are scheduled to end. NBC's Tom Lamas reports from Tokyo.
This morning, Japan declaring a COVID-19 state of emergency in Tokyo. The move set to collide with the start of the Olympic Games just 15 days away. Japan's Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga announcing the new restrictions to combat a recent spike in COVID cases. Japanese media reporting the government is moving to ban all fans from late-night Olympic competitions and showcase events, including the opening ceremony. Plus, the Olympic torch relay already being pulled off public streets in Tokyo.
COVID-19 pandemic is not over yet. We will do our best to ensure the safe and secure Tokyo 2020 Games.
Though the country has suffered fewer deaths per capita than other developed nations, Japan is taking no chances.
Have you met anyone in Japan who wants the Olympics to happen?
I haven't met any Japanese who are keen to have the Olympics. They are worried that there will be a spike and a surge in transmissions, and this is going to be bad news for Japan.
Recent polls have shown more than half the Japanese want the Olympics to be canceled or postponed. One reason for concern, Japan's sluggish vaccine rollout. Just 15% of eligible Japanese are fully vaccinated. And now, with the Delta variant spreading all over the world, Japan enforcing strict rules we've seen firsthand.
All foreigners have to do a 14-day quarantine when they arrive in Tokyo, also submit daily saliva tests, and we're all tracked on this health app here in Japan. These two very nice government workers are here to make sure we don't break our quarantine and also to collect our saliva tests. Arigato. They also have this sign-up sheet because we're only allowed to be outside for 15 minutes, so they want to make sure we don't break that time.
The growing number of rules have also burdened the athletes themselves who are still training.
They're sacrificing a lot. They can't take their friends or family to Tokyo.
The main issue here is crowd control, so they're asking all restaurants, bars, and karaoke parlors not to serve alcohol. What they're really worried about is the crowd getting out of control. They want to make sure with all the Olympic festivities and the thousands of travelers coming in, all these foreigners, they want to make sure things don't get out of control, and that's the main reason for the state of emergency.
And that's it for sports. When we come back, we'll have another look at the stories that made the headlines.
Whether you're at home or abroad, ZIZ's social media platforms help you stay connected with what's going on in St. Kitts and Nevis. Keep up with daily events by liking our Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at ZBC Online. Like our pictures on Instagram and subscribe to our videos on YouTube. Also, you can watch us live on the ZIZ mobile app and our website, zizonline.com. No matter where you are, ZIZ is just a click away. ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, reaching you wherever you are.
Imagine having the luxury of putting all your trust in one insurance company and being able to enjoy a life to the fullest without having to worry. Well, don't imagine. National Caribbean Insurance is here to take care of all your insurance needs. Insure your life, vehicle, boat, home, belongings, and your future. At NCI, we make it our business to ensure that you enjoy every stage in life. We serve, we protect, we satisfy. That's NCI.
And we're wrapping up with a recap of the top stories. Prime Minister Harris outlines new initiatives to reduce the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. Cruise ships expected on July 22nd, and care packages assist nearly 4,000 persons. And that's the end of the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Berridge. Bye.